Okay.
Just like
It's going.
So how you doing today, Tony?
great. Yourself?
Great. Doing good. So yeah, we just want you part of our YouTube. So what made you get into barbering?
I got into barbering when I was younger. I had a cousin that used to always cut my hair, Anthony, and when he would do it, I would pay attention to what he was doing. I used to mess around and joke and be the kid that wouldn't want to get his hair cut, but I used to like getting a haircut.
Right.
So I just remember seeing all the work he would do, and then my Uncle Chris would cut my hair sometimes, and I like, just getting a haircut. And I would just, from that point on, I always had a drive or a want to do it. And that was when I would say from 5 years and on.
Yeah.
So at a very young age, I got into it. The want and the drive for it, I guess you could say, came later on in life. But being intrigued by haircutting is, I would say, at a younger age, around 5 years old and on, it's something I always wanted to do.
At what age did you start, actually start getting serious with barbering? When you started building the clientele, when you started getting money weekly, when did you start getting serious with it?
Well, I started getting serious with it, I would say around the age 19. I would say around 19 years old. I had a barber, and at the time, haircuts weren't affordable, and there was not many barbers around that I trusted anyway. So my barber, he moved out of town, and I didn't have no one to cut my hair. And so around 19 years old, I got in. Then as I got older, I started going to school around. I started going to college. I took some college courses, and in between that, I had a job, and haircutting was my side hustle.
Right.
So I would do that every day. So just making money every day. It wasn't a weekly thing for me. It was just every day. Every time I cut somebody's hair, I had an opportunity to make some money. It felt good. Just being able to do that and then make connections with people, being able to talk and see how people felt. And also the money came as I guess got better. I never felt like I wasn't any good. I feel like I cut hair today the same way I cut back then. I've added some techniques, I've added some other things, but my view of doing haircuts, I still feel the same. I always had this outlook on giving great haircuts. I never wanted to give a bad haircut, and I like to make people feel good.
Right. Why would you say in the barbering industry, in the barbershop, how competitive it is, why would you say quality is more important than quantity?
First of all, I'll just say this. Competitiveness, there's no, when it comes to barbering, we all complement. So there's no competition in the shop. If there's competition, if you feel competition within yourself, it's just you saying you need to get better. So when I feel like I'm being competitive, I'm inspired to get better with a service. Haircuts, you can always get better with, I would say, because, and what I mean by that, you can give a person a good haircut, but is it their best haircut? Is it the haircut that best suits them?
Right.
So when you give somebody a haircut that best suits them, some people have 3 haircuts, some people have one haircut that suit them, and then others have a variety of haircuts. Just like you right now, you have long hair with the trim on the side. It suits you. It doesn't look bad on you. Other people might not feel the same.
Right.
So that's what I mean by competitively. There's really not. I never look at myself as competing against other people except myself. I've always like, hey, I want to get better. And if there's somebody that I felt was doing good, as soon as I got to their level of whatever they were doing, I was no longer competition. I was always a compliment. Because the reason I say that, and this is important to know this, is the moment that you can compliment your counterpart, your teammate, a person that you're working with, because if that person is back up behind or if they're on vacation, their clients can easily come to you, and it becomes a team. It becomes a team activity instead of a one person individual activity. So it's important to know exactly what you're getting into when you're getting in a barbershop. You never want to go up in there thinking you compete against anybody. You want to compete against yourself, because there's no competition. You don't wake up with the person that works next to you. You only wake up with yourself. Yeah. And only you can assume the responsibility of getting to the next level. So you want to have that compliment. And if you work with somebody that's doing great, or you see yourself admiring what the person is doing, and if you want to tag along and do what that person is doing because you're not doing it at that present moment in time, learn. Get to them and be that compliment. And I think as a team, as me and you are, we're on teams in Elio and China. So far we are a four people team, and I would say we all complement each other in various ways. Elio has his vibrant character, you have a character. I'm just now getting to learn some things about you. My character, I have more of a leadership role, but I will say we all have a leadership role. As far as character go, I think it's important that we all do that and we find out what our talents are, and we uniformly put them together so that we're not competing with each other, but we're actually complementing one another. Yeah. So to answer that question about there's not, that shouldn't be even a part of the program.
Yeah. So tell us about your hustler mentality. You know, like, say you started off at 19, 20 years later, you're still doing it, you're a barbershop owner. What clicked? What made you think like, man, hey, I really want my own barbershop. I want to do my own thing, my own way, do me. You know, what was that click? What was that thing, or has it always been in you?
Okay, again, let me correct something else. I'm not an owner. I'm just a I just do things collectively with people. I'm responsible. I'm the responsible person. There's only one owner, and that's the creator. I'm just borrowing his time. And I've heard there's a saying, you can't manage the bigger if you don't manage the small. So I'm working on managing the small level. So I managed the small level money that I was making when I first started off. I saved, I invest, I saved, I invest. So that's where I got to that hustler's mentality. That's entrepreneur. But for lack of better words, for the hustler, all the hustlers is just an entrepreneur, a person who saves and invests. My hustler mentality when it comes to cutting hair, I like to get up, first work on myself so that I can work on whatever I need to work on the next level, whether it's my family, the gym, or being at the shop, cutting hair. So the hustler mentality, the entrepreneur mentality, the business mind, the economical mentality, I think they all go hand in hand, and it's important for us to learn. I'm still learning. I'm in the process of learning, and I like to share that with the team, because I feel like even though you mentioned 20 years doesn't mean that 20 years I utilized all my time, and that's where I realized I made one of my biggest mistakes, and that's why I tell you and I tell Elio, it's better to get started on the grind now, be focused now, so that when you get 20 years into it, your focus will be way beyond to where it expands so much more. And I think it's important that we do that as a team, and that I pass that on to you guys. It's my responsibility, and that's why I take that full responsibility. And if you want to put ownership on it, then hey, I'll take ownership just in that aspect, and I just ask the creator to guide me along and be able to be a better example.
Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
So you want to do like
any final thoughts?
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Final comments.
Yeah. So my final thoughts is in this interview for the first time with us is thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. Thank you, Elio, for allowing me to be a part of this, even though you're behind the cameras and nobody can see. But also to the community that has actually been supportive, even in times of me not being as accurate with time as people with mail, like, but also like the people who spent time, that came in and just share their time and have fun with us at the shop. It's a pretty cool environment to be in. The barbershops, I would think any barbershop you work in, as long as you have a great team, great people to work with, it's a very fun environment. There's always new people, and even when there's the repetition of people that's coming in, they always come up with there's always different attitudes, there's always different type of vibes. So I would say let's just keep up with the vibes and doing great, working as a team, and utilize whatever talent we have and add to it.
Yeah, that's great.